Hey everybody, Pete, Ryno, and Craig. We are here at Pop Century, and we're about to check out the room as part of our 7 and 7. Let's see how it is. Watching Ryno try and open a door.
The light doesn't work right here.
Now, this room has not been rehabbed yet. So this is one of the older ones, and it really has that
Old sneaker smell.
that old sneaker smell, which we had to ask for a different room because the first one we went into, which was also not rehabbed, stunk like bleach. It was like awful. So standard stuff. You've got a mini fridge down there, 3 drawers, the small television, little table and chairs there.
I was seeing if it has the. So we have been to Port Orleans Riverside, and they have a separate hookup for like your 3-color cables and the HDMI in. And I thought I'll bring my Switch with me here and see if I can plug it in the TV, but there is no HDMI. Maybe there's one way back here. Way back here. I don't want to stick.
So, small vanity. Ironing board. Safe that will fit a laptop. That's one thing it has going for it. And then the commode. And if you're looking around here and you're saying, wow, there really isn't a lot of charm to this room, you'd be right. There isn't. And what makes it even worse is, Craig's in it. So yeah, again, this is not one of the newly rehabbed rooms because it has carpet. The newly rehabbed rooms have a hardwood laminate type thing going on. But what do you think, Ryno?
Well, my first impression is for a room that's at Pop Century. It doesn't pop very much. But
ooh, nice play on words.
You know, it kind of just has that one poster. I've never been in these rooms before, but Craig was saying that he thinks there used to be more stuff in here, and that it's probably kind of stripped away because it's getting ready for the refurbishment.
Could be. We are going to get one of the newly refurbished rooms, and we'll put that up as a before and after. But so this is what it looks like now.
Ow!
See what happens when you try and be fabulous.
Hit my head.
So we're gonna go have lunch. Now this food court is notoriously bad, so I'm kind of interested to see.
Great.
What's that?
I don't think I've eaten at this food court before. I mean, maybe once with Craig. I don't know though.
What are you getting, Craig?
Still don't know. So it's tough. Lots of choices in these big not gift shops. Jesus.
Food courts.
Big food courts.
So as is usually the case, I'm ready, but I'm waiting on them. So Craig has finally chosen his lunch, and what is that?
It's meatloaf.
Hold on, I gotta. Meatloaf.
Well, looks better than the fried chicken.
Oh, this is just awful. Is it your first time with a fork?
There's a lot of Italian seasoning in it. A lot. But, I mean, I figured it was going to be a lot drier looking at it from the outside.
No, it's not dry.
It's not.
It does have a lot of seasoning in it.
There's like a lot of oregano and
Yeah. Plus,
very
there's
floral.
that glaze, that ketchup glaze, very sweet on the outside. I don't know. Ryno, why don't you try yours?
I got the pasta salad as one of my sides, and the pasta a little al dente, for I'm used to, and not a lot of flavor to it. Just whatever the can of tomatoes was that they dumped into it. But I went with the plant-based burger here because I got that at Port Orleans Riverside, and I really enjoyed it there. But there it was like lettuce, tomato, cheese, plant-based burger. There was nothing to it. Here, this one says it's got They put pepper jack cheese on it. It's got tomato, arugula that was tossed in some sort of sauce. There's avocado that was on here with barbecue sauce. So it's a weird collection of flavors. Here, I guess it's going for like a barbecue, not bacon burger, but I am excited to try this. Looks much more appealing than the one I had there.
It doesn't look like it has the same consistency as the other one. I mean, it does look like meat, but the other one looked different. It's like almost a completely different product.
Yeah, because the other one, I thought maybe they had given me a burger patty. The other one was a little more pink. This one's a little more on the like tan, brown side, whatever. There's definitely a different flavor profile, and I don't know if I'm getting that from the avocado, the barbecue sauce, or the actual patty here. And it is what I feared. The flavors don't really mix together as well. I don't dislike the burger itself. I think I'm not as into the barbecue sauce as I wanted to. I think if they had just done the arugula with the avocado, the tomato, that would have been pretty good. And then maybe, I like spicy stuff too, and this is sweet. So it could just be a personal taste thing, but either they toasted the bun on this one or it's an old bun, I can't tell. I think it was toasted slightly.
This is my third food court this week. I've done All-Star Movies, I've done Port Orleans Riverside, and now here at Pop Century. Pop Century by far the worst so far. This fried chicken, I don't know how you make fried chicken and put absolutely no flavor into it. It's just, there's no flavor. I have to douse it in salt to give it any flavor at all. This risotto, this mushroom risotto, has the consistency of spackle. I'm pretty sure they are using this to patch up walls around this resort right now. The only thing on this plate that was even remotely good were the string beans. They at least had some crunch to them. They had some flavor with garlic. I'll give you that. I've tried Craig's potatoes, mashed potatoes, which were disgusting. The meatloaf, which was poorly seasoned. The best thing on the table are Ryno's waffle fries. So this does not get a high rating from me at all. A terrible food court. At least what I've tasted here. Doesn't look like there's any creativity. And I'll guarantee you, like, I don't think there's anything up there that's probably going to be much better than what we got. Because we kind of went with a good cross section of what most people I think would get. Fried chicken, meatloaf, and, well, I don't know, plant-based burger is going to scare a lot of people off, but I don't know. What do you think, Craig?
I would never call any of this perfect, and I would not go near your fried chicken. In fact, I laughed at you when you came over holding the plate of the fried chicken. I don't know how you made it up to the counter, saw it, and still went with it.
I wanted to see. That's what I was in the mood for. What I saw on the menu, that's what I was in the mood for. I'm like, let me try it.
Yeah. You know, overall, I'm not upset with this. I do not taste the same thing you taste in the mashed potatoes. They're not good.
No, they're horrible.
But I'm also very particular about my mashed potatoes. I think my meal.
Okay. Think flavorless gelatin. It's got the consistency of mashed potatoes, I guess, with this gravy on it that makes absolutely no sense. And
we must have different taste buds because I taste a lot.
You taste flavor in that?
Yeah, I do.
I want to taste that cheesecake. That's terrible. Again, everything went through a flavor vacuum. Everything went through a flavor vacuum. Except those items that went down the add crappy flavor conveyor belt. You like those mashed potatoes, you're going to think that's gourmet, so.
Yeah. Tastes like a standard cheesecake.
What cheesecakes are you eating?
It tastes like anyone that you'd get at like Publix grocery store, not homemade.
No. I'm going to tell you right now, Publix cheesecake is 1,000 times better than that. I have Publix cheesecake almost once a week when I have dinner, when I make dinner for my family, and I am telling you right now that you compare that to Publix cheesecake means you have fallen down and hit your head.
I know what type of cheesecake I like. I also like the fluffy, airy cheesecake. I don't like dense cheesecakes.
He likes the Philadelphia cheesecake.
I like whipped.
I'm gonna try this cheesecake here. It looks like red velvet cake on the bottom of it. It is the consistency of Play-Doh, and I think I can't get that out of my head, but
Oh, it's just like Publix cheesecake.
I don't think this is like Publix cheesecake, but this is definitely like manufactured cheesecake. It's not. There's no
Lab created cheesecake.
Yeah. This is like the creation of a mad scientist.
Let's talk about what everything cost. Craig's meatloaf with his delicious mashed potatoes and green beans, $9.99. So price point wise, it's not bad. Ryno's.
I think mine was $10.99.
No, it's actually she did this as a cheeseburger with two sides, $12.99, and the cheesecake was $4.29. My horrible plate was $12.29. I will tell you now, mine not worth half that at all. Craig, $9.99 for yours. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I'd say it's worth it. Yeah.
And what about you, Ryno?
Yeah, I think mine was worth it.
So, in total, with tax for $3 adults, $51.14 per lunch. That includes 3 bottles of water, and I got a large Diet Coke. So, there you have it.
I mean, if you're here, why aren't you walking over to Art of Animation's food court anyways? We all know that's the best quick service food court on property, so what are you doing?
The value resorts have the best arcades. There's like, I mean, this is a cool arcade. This is a fun arcade. So I guess kids that stay at like moderates or deluxes don't like fun. Because why don't they do this at the other ones? I don't get it. It's a really, really cool arcade. Oh my God.
Peels.
Pet. It says pet.
No, I'm standing right here. It clearly says Peels.
No trip to a resort with these guys is complete without putting alcohol in them. Especially this Lush. So,
Bourbon and strawberry sour. What the heck?
petals. What looks good, Gregory?
It all looks good, but fortunately, I'm not drinking right now.
Aww.
So you're gonna get a non-alcoholic? There's a watermelon lemonade.
Gross.
Craig might not be drinking, so I'll leave it up to me to drink for 2.
Well, you're gonna do that anyway, so that's just a convenient excuse.
It'll make me feel better. Oh, look at that big glass. Do you see that? I wonder what comes in that.
Right, so Ryno, what did you get?
I got the lizard bite. So,
Write my shot, Craig.
and action. So So I got the Lizard Bite, which is Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, Karuba Coconut Rum, Rose Blue Curacao, and Pineapple Juice. And I got it in this cool glass that I'm always going to drink my drinks out of.
He likes them. He likes the glasses that size because it makes his hands look dainty. That's an old drag queen trick.
Okay, sir?
Oh, talking about me. I was like, yeah, no.
Go ahead. Drink.
It's actually really good. I was worried it was going to be a little tart, but this is like perfect.
And I got a lovely virgin pina colada. Because I don't want to be like Ryno. Yeah.
I do enjoy just a good walk around with a big old beverage.
This is what he gets paid for, folks. This is what I pay him to do. God, gotta watch getting close to that ginormous head. There isn't a lens wide enough.
The gravity starts pulling you in. It's actually a very heavy cup.
Open. You are just as bad as Kylie with this.
I left my sunglasses in the room. We thought we'd come outside now. Pete has left us. Soon Craig will leave me and I will be alone. But I thought before he did, we could do one of our famous, and by one of our famous, I mean we did it once. We could walk around to each decade and just talk about what's there and what the buildings look like, because the theming's pretty interesting. I don't know if interesting is the right word. The theming is unique on these buildings. So I thought we could just start at the 50s and work our way to my decade, the 90s, and check it all out. What do you think? You haven't said anything.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. All right, 1950s, a simpler time.
Yeah.
But, so what's over here? A Lady and the Tramp, you got a big lady, a big tramp. Sock hop seems to be the theme of everything.
Dancing is literally the theme of every single building.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only thing that transcends time is dancing.
They got poodle skirts, they got records, transistor radios, and the pool.
Jukebox.
Yeah, Jukebox Hero. And then they've got a big, well, not big, but a pool that is shaped like a bowling pin.
It's just weird because I thought the 50s was all about communism, fear, the Korean War.
You just thought
But
it
I
was
guess I
gonna
was
be
wrong.
like a war-torn area.
Yeah.
Like, well, who knows? Maybe we'll get more into that in the 60s.
Okay.
So let's head over there. Okay, we're in the groovy 60s over here. Everything says classic on it. Classic 60s, classic 50s, classic 80s, classic 90s. I guess it's all classic.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Classic to someone.
as you can see back here, we've got Mowgli and Baloo, and it's there's a big giant Play-Doh with some animals coming
Yeah.
out of it.
Lots of flowers.
Yeah.
Which is, it's all very odd because I always thought the 60s, like when I think of the 60s, I think the start of the Vietnam War. And, you know, not really like peace and love and dancing and stuff like that, but
Shrimp boats and
that could just be my ignorance on not knowing our nation's history.
well, the stairwells here are shaped like yo-yos. To top off his point there.
I thought that was the 90s.
No,
It
the
was-
yo-yos
I-
are.
it was-
Okay.
Yo-yos came back
Let's-
in the 90s.
Well, let's go on and see. Maybe you'll have more luck in the 70s.
Maybe.
Okay, we made it over to the discotheque that is the 70s.
I believe they call it the swinging 70s.
Do they?
No, that might
That
be
was
the
the
swinging
60s,
60s.
I think, yeah.
Or the 50s.
Greg's always,
Or the 40s.
always a time behind us, but here we are in the 70s. You got a big wheel over here, followed by, for some reason I don't understand, the Mickey Mouse foam. That must have been big in the 70s,
I would say so.
I guess. And foosball, as you can see behind us over here.
Yeah.
There's just this massive foosball court that doesn't move, but it looks like soldiers that come alive at night. So they kind of scare me a little bit.
It's a great photo op, like many of the other photo ops here. One of the things I really love about the 70s, besides all the 8-tracks that line the stairwells, because, you know, those are just, it's kitschy, it's cool, it's awesome. I like that they have, at 2 different points in the courtyard here, they have a twister game.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was
that's
cool.
built in the ground.
Yeah.
So you don't, the board's not needed. They have the spinner right there. So you could sit here and you can play twister with your friends, I guess, if you really wanted
You
to.
fall down, you can shatter that tailbone right on the pavement there.
And nothing like playing twister on concrete, but
Yeah.
definitely different than I thought the 70s were. So I always associated the 70s with kind of the end of the Vietnam War. But overall, it's I like this style here.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the decade of our birth, the 80s.
The swingin' 80s.
The swingin' 80s it is. Breakdancing, Pac-Man, Walkmans, and of course Roger Rabbit. And then right next door,
the swingin' 90s.
The swingin' 90s. With a big old laptop computer and some floppy disks. They made them extra floppy for us.
That was nice of them.
Was an Adam Sandler
Yeah, I mean,
reference there.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I'm sure we've made that reference before here.
I like the 80s buildings because I like the Pac-Man, the like dots and the ghosts and the I don't remember what the ghosts are called, and Pac-Man himself chasing them around here. I think that's cute.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Before I would have told you my aesthetic would more lean to the 50s, the 60s, that whole style. But I don't. Now that this resort has been open for as long as it has, I feel like the 80s and the 90s are just, it feels, that's what this entire resort feels like.
Yeah.
Like the 50s section doesn't feel like the 50s. It feels like a 90s take on the 50s.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
So I feel like these are the only two sections that are really kind of encompassing of their actual decades. And that's just my opinion.
Got another pool over here. It's shaped like a laptop. Well, the screen of a laptop because we are currently standing on the keyboard.
The computer poll voted on one of our polls is the worst poll, I think.
Oh, goodness, really?
It was one of them. It was up there. It was in the top 5 of the worst polls on property. That's the computer poll.
It seems pretty quiet right now. I mean, it's also really chilly outside, but yeah. So those are all the decades here, and again, it says like classic 80s, and I'm like, okay, like. It's all classic, I guess, here.
It is. So, I mean, it doesn't remind me of the 80s. That's,
no.
A lot of the 80s for me was like being in the womb. And then obviously once we got into the 90s, it was...
You were in the womb for a lot of the 80s?
I'm assuming that I was in the womb for the first 7 years.
Right.
And then I was born in the 7th year of the 80s. But I don't know how that works. And then, the 90s, I'm used to... I remember a time that was more reminiscent of like the Gulf War, but
Desert Storm.
I guess it's not enough. There's only one building for the 90s, so I get they can't really put that.
It's a lot of rollerblades and a lot of random circles that I guess are CDs. They're supposed to be CDs with like different images on them. I don't get it, but I think I like the 80s one the best. Which one do you think you like the best? Did you say 80s?
I mean, you have to lump 80s and 90s together because it's literally all in the same square.
Yeah.
It's how it is. So 80s and 90s for me, that's what I would recommend. It's not too far off from the lobby, but a little bit away, so that way you do have some separation. The 60s, it's just way too close. It's right there.
That's where I am. It's very loud in the room.
Yeah, I know a lot of people prefer that, but with the pole being right down below, it's loud, it's noisy.
If you're back here, you're kind of closer to the walkway to the bridge to get over to Art of Animation anyway. So you might as well just go over that way if you're going in to use the food court, or I don't know if they let you use the pool or not, but that would be nice if they did. I think they do. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But either way, so that was our walk around. So I'm going to let Craig go and now experience the rest of this alone. Bye, Craig.
Arrivederci.
Good morning, everybody. It is Ryno, as you can see here. I am still at the Pop Century Resort. I have slept here overnight, and I have gone to get some breakfast at the Pop Century Food Court. Now, I'm sorry, it is a little echoey. It was so loud in the food court that I decided to come back to my room, and I don't have my other microphone to record my voice to make it sound smooth and whatever for you guys. But that's not the point of this. The point of this is talk about the food. So I got there right when they were switching over from breakfast to lunch at 10:30, and they do it like right on the dot. So hurry on down there if you were worried about missing that. I have now let my food here sit long enough that it's gotten a little cold, but I actually got 2 different items. I got a Western omelet, which has like green peppers, ham. It comes with a side of, they call them breakfast potatoes. I always call them Home fries, that's what I call them. I got that, and then I tried to get something that was a little more creative, and I am a sucker for breakfast pizza. So there was a breakfast flatbread, which had like eggs, bacon, ham and bacon, and I feel like that's it. It's sat here for a little bit, so it's gotten a little bit cold, but I'm going to try it. It actually looked very promising and smelled really good. If only there were a microwave in these rooms. But it is loaded with toppings. You can see it's like heavy. My weak hand can barely hold it up. It's actually pretty good. The eggs on it are pretty good. The ham, the bacon's like the right amount of crispy. I don't even know. Yeah, this is definitely bacon. I was gonna say I don't know if it's bacon or little pieces of ham, but it's the same thing. But the bread on the flatbread's pretty good. There's some flavor, not intense. I got some hot sauce and ketchup. Yes, I am one of those people that puts ketchup on my eggs. I am gonna really enjoy eating that. I wasn't sure how that was gonna be, so I got the second item, the breakfast omelet, just to kind of, get it out, a little standard thing. I've got to have home fries whenever I say something there. Which these are. They're not amazing. The Western omelet I walked up to, and this was under a heat lamp, so I don't know, and it looks like standard issue Disney omelet. It is what it is. I mean, it's. I don't know how you really. It's fine. The eggs at Disney, I feel like, are always a texture that is not known to the real world. Like, you can never make them the same when you're at your house. Some people may love that. It feels a little spongy. Yeah, it feels like one of those thin sponges that you get at like the dollar store. It's not bad. It's not very flavorful, like the peppers and the ham. It's kind of like, it feels like they use a lot of cheap breakfast ingredients, which is a shame. But this isn't geared. The point of this food court isn't to be, like a dining experience really in the morning. It's kind of like people grab and they go. Like, there were people lined up out front like crazy. So as far as these go, so the omelet was $8.99. The flatbread was $9.99. I definitely would recommend the flatbread. The omelets, whatever, you're looking for breakfast, get it. It's not whatever. I'm not going to go out of my way to get it. If I were here again, I would definitely get this breakfast flatbread. Based on all this, I would probably actually recommend, I'd recommend grab the bite to eat here before you go into the park. I find that getting breakfast food in a theme park is kind of difficult. I don't feel like Disney World has really mastered that quite yet. I think they're getting better, but I'd like to see more creative options offered. Like, I know the flatbread. I keep going back to the flatbread, but, more like breakfast burritos or like just kind of interesting takes on breakfast foods. But there was also like fruit, muffins, yogurts, all that sort of stuff in there. If you are staying and not in a rush to get in the park, I would recommend grabbing it and eating it outside or perhaps back in your room like I did, because it was crazy. It was literally filled with, I'm assuming, a tour group, because everybody was wearing the same color pink. So it was just loud and lots of people just kind of running around, which is a lot for me to handle first thing in the morning. You'll notice I have my cup that I got at the bar the other day, and I got my cran apple raspberry that I'm gonna be drinking out of here, because I told myself I would drink everything out of this cup now the rest of my stay. So non-alcoholic, but you just want to feel fancy sometimes, am I right? Well, so that's my feelings on that. I'm gonna eat this, get dressed, and I'll let you know where I go from there. Cheers. Well, someone definitely tried to come in the room while I was in the shower, because this was all the way against the door, and I thought I heard the door open while I was in there, even though there's a sign on the outside that says room occupied, and I have a late checkout until 1, and it was 12 o'clock when they tried to come in. Alright, so that was a small look into my time here at Disney's Pop Century, which wasn't for very long. I know a lot of people come here on vacation and they stay a lot longer, but yeah, so thank you for coming along. Be sure to check out our actually studio recorded review of the resort, where I'm going to go into a lot more details about how I felt about things and like my night stay here and all that stuff. So yeah, check that out, and thank you for joining me.